Well, hello there, fellow Star Wars fans, listeners, subscribers, friends, however it is you wish to identify with me. Here I am. I am making this video to provide some sort of insight into the reason for my long absence before I return to the scene with my latest Versus video, which I have to say was met with a lot of great, just fantastic responses from you guys. It was really nice to hear from you again in the comments and the overwhelming just support I got. It was like I hadn't produced a video, I hadn't uploaded a video in like 7 or 8 months, and you guys responded as if I'd only been gone for a day. It was really great. You guys are like the best subscribers ever. Anyway, I thought I should just briefly go over why it was that I had left and to point something out at the same time. A big component of my videos has been sucky audio quality. And I haven't listened to the playback of this thoroughly yet, but I just got a new mic today. And I think that it is, if not like the greatest mic ever, considering the price that I paid for it, is vastly superior to the ones that I've used in the past. So, that's a big reason why I stopped making videos. My mics that I owned were just so the quality was just not there, and it was difficult to record anything, and difficult, vocal recordings make editing even more, sort of arduous. And so I'm sure you must have noticed the dubious audio quality of my last Versus video, even though, as I said, it was met with a lot of positive response. But hopefully that is a thing of the past, and with this new mic that's hopefully more reliable, I'll be able to produce a steadier stream of content from here on out. And with that said, I wanted to also point out that a lot of the reason why I left was also a sort of growing disinterest or a loss of enthusiasm for the subject matter that pertains to most of my videos, that being the entire encompassing Star Wars franchise. There's just been so much retconning going on over the last couple of years that it was hard for me to keep up and maintain any sort of enthusiasm for any of my projects. However, that enthusiasm has returned thanks to users like Jen Sarai, who has improved on my format for the entire Versus video thing, and has probably surpassed me in the number of videos he's made to date, and certainly as far as the overall length and content is far superior in the main than what I've done. But here I am trying to show him up again. So you can all thank him for helping me get back into the video making sort of corner of things. I'll post a link to his channel. If you don't know it already, you should go, especially only if you're like a really hardcore Star Wars fan and you really like the nitty-gritty of these Versus video breakdowns. They're not for the sort of fan with a feigning interest in the greater Star Wars lore. Now, having said all that, I can't promise that that I'll always have content. There are going to be times where I'm just too busy with real life, or what have you, that my video making career, for want of a better term, is going to be put on hold here and there. However, I have not by any means abandoned this channel or my desire to share my various opinions on books and video games and films and any sort of media like that altogether. In fact, I may start up a blog so I can produce written articles just more quickly and more efficiently in place of actual video content from time to time. And when and if that happens, I'll provide the proper links in a separate announcement video. For the time being, I just thought I'd close this one out with a brief rundown of what I'd like to get accomplished on this channel over the next few months, keeping in mind that I can't promise exact release dates for any of this. Now, as far as non-Star Wars material goes, I do want to get more into the side of just reviewing films and cartoons and comic books and books in general that I've kept up with or that I have an interest in that aren't Star Wars specific. And to that end, I've decided that I will be making a top 10 Batman Beyond episodes video. That was one of my favorite cartoons growing up, so that's something I'd like to talk about. Then there are a few other films I'd like to talk about, including things like Stand By Me and just really sucky, horrible, awful things like Ballistic X vs. Sever that I haven't really seen very many other people bring up. I think they're probably trying to forget about it, but I might just talk about them. And then other films that aren't universally disliked, but just things that I'd like to examine in further detail, such as Alien Resurrection, or other more obscure films as well. And then I'd like to talk about my favorite Disney films. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but that's something I'd like to address at one point, or at some point, rather. Then, sort of my favorite cartoons of the 90s. Then favorite cartoons of the last decade, kind of might be pointless to split it up that way. But, there's just so many I could talk about that I'm going to need more than one video, so that might just be the way to do it. I'm not sure. Then at some point, I'd like to talk about the Mass Effect series as a whole, the Ratchet and Clank series of games as a whole, the Spyro series of games as a whole, perhaps the Harry Potter books, but it's such a widely read series that I might just weigh out the need to do that, or the point in doing that. I'm not sure that there really would be. Then a sort of tongue-in-cheek, top 5 worst Scooby-Doo villainous plans video. I've been watching a lot of stuff with my younger family members on DVD now that everything's on DVD these days, and I remember really liking Scooby-Doo when I was young, and that now that I'm rewatching these older ones, some of these guys had just the stupidest, schemes. I don't know. I know it's a cartoon. It's supposed to be silly and not meant to be taken seriously, of course, but I like to play around with that just for fun. So that's about it on my radar as far as non-Star Wars material goes. There are other things I didn't mention, but I'm not so sure where I want to go with them that I'm not going to address them quite yet. Now back to the Star Wars content, which is what I know most of you are really interested in. I'm going to be returning to the KOTOR character reviews project. I know that I've put that project on the back burner twice now, but that's because those videos in particular, those video game characters are so important to me that I really want to make their tribute videos or their analysis videos as perfect as they can be. And my horrific audio quality from before is a large reason why I quit doing that. I wasn't happy with the content, so I didn't want to continue on with it until I had the resources to produce something I was actually happy with. So now that I do, or hopefully now that I do, I'll be able to pursue that more aggressively. Then I'll be going back into my reviews of the Clone Wars comic books from Dark Horse. I'd really like to finish that series up. I'm going to be addressing the novel Darth Plagueis, because I was asked a lot about that when that book was released earlier this year, and I didn't have time to really sit down and process all of my feelings about it. Again, because there have been so many retcons and changes to continuity, and just some for the good, many more for the worse. That I couldn't really come up with a coherent idea of how I feel about it, but I've reread it a couple of times since then, and I'd like to address that subject at long last. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the explanation, or my explanation, for why I think Yoda sucks now. This isn't to say that I don't enjoy the character at all, but, with the general sort of loss of appreciation for the quality of the Star Wars franchise that comes with the many analyses of the prequel films, as a whole, especially in light of the Mr. Plinkett reviews. Many people are of the opinion that Yoda sucks because he used a lightsaber. Now, I'm willing to concede that the character was kind of ruined in the prequel films, but not for that reason. So I'm going to be coming out with a video explaining why I believe Yoda is a subpar character these days, but it has nothing to do with the fact that he uses a lightsaber from my point of view. Then, of course, I have plenty more Versus videos to get through, just a never-ending list of requests to address, and so that's going to be happening soon. And the next one I will release will be Darth Bane and Darth Zana versus Mace Windu and Obi-Wan Kenobi, the long-awaited battle that I never actually finished, even though I announced it more than a year ago. So sorry about that, but it's coming. I hope it will be worth the wait. I'm going to be making, and see, I've done a couple of top 15, top 20, whatever Sith Lords in the past, but I'm going to finally just readdress the whole subject with either a very long video or a multi-part top 25 Sith Lords video, explaining just, a video where you're able to speak about the character is a lot better than just listing all the characters. Nobody will care to listen to me unless they're heavily interested, so that'll weed out the people who have only seen the films and the people who don't really have any regard for the expanded universe. So that's a good notion right there. And also because I'm just tired of having to add annotations or readdressing opinions or omissions of certain characters in the comment section where only a few people at any given time will see it. And so this will be a much more in-depth look at the Sith Order and my personal feelings as to why any given character deserves the rank that I do. So I guess sort of 25 is best of, or worst of best. But so that'll be coming out. Then I thought, because for whatever reason my top 10 favorite lightsaber duels video has been getting a lot of traffic lately, and most of the comments seem to be from the standpoint that I should have included the Anakin versus Obi-Wan duel at the end of Revenge of the Sith. That duel is not going to be on my list of favorite lightsaber duels ever. And I thought that I would explain why. Now, this isn't to say that I think it's the worst duel of all time, or that I think you're an idiot if you liked it, or I think you're wrong if you like it, or whatever. And it's really not a defense of my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. It is simply an explanation for why it's not there, and it's a very in-depth one at that. So that's one of the next videos I'll have coming out, along with my Darth Bane and Zana versus Mace Windu and Obi-Wan Kenobi video, as well as the explanation for why I think Yoda sucks now. So those are going to be like the next 3 videos that'll be coming out. Aside from that, I'm going to be looking at some other Star Wars books. Some of them I've already reviewed, but again, the quality of them is such that I'm not happy with them, and I just like to redo them. So I'm going to be taking second looks at Darth Maul, Shadowhunter, the entire Darth Bane trilogy, the Star Wars Labyrinth of Evil, Star Wars Cloak of Deception, Star Wars Shatterpoint, those ones, aside from Labyrinth of Evil, I haven't actually talked about. And then, of course, the Star Wars Jedi Apprentice series, excuse me, the Jedi Apprentice series. And those were, when you look at it amidst the common throng of the rest of these Star Wars novels, these are very much geared towards a younger audience, but I still think they're very good, and I grew up with them. Aside from the Thrawn trilogy, and then the Darth Maul Shadowhunter were the first, true Star Wars novels that I read. But the ones that I grew up with were these shorter, much more youth-oriented Jedi Apprentice series that followed Obi-Wan's apprenticeship to Qui-Gon Jinn. So I grew up with those, and I'd really like to talk about each one. So that'll be, on my list of things to get done. Alright, so that's it, guys. That's it for this video. That's where I've been. That's why I quit. That's why I'm back. That's what I've done. That's what I'm planning to do. Hope you're all caught up now, and I hope you're all looking forward to what I have on the horizon for you. Once again, my new mic will be instrumental in making my video production experience a lot easier, and therefore there will be more content for you. Certainly more so over the next few months than you have seen in past months from my channel. Well, I guess that's it. I've said everything I wanted to say today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your continuing support. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Hope you're looking forward to it. I know I am. Bye, guys.